I have come to this realization that no matter how many before pictures I show, no matter how much I express that I struggle just like everyone else struggles. There are people that are just not going to get it because I wasn't 300, 400, 500 plus pounds. And I think it's sad that it's that way, right? Because when you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to go on a health journey for anybody, it takes work. Whether you have 20 pounds to lose, 100 pounds to lose, 200 pounds to lose, 200 pounds to lose, it still takes work. And I I'm not interested in trying to prove why you should watch me or listen to anything that I say. I'm just not interested in that. I'm not interested in the crazy clickbaity titles, the, you know, trying to come up with these uh clickbaity thumbnails. Like I'm just not interested. I know that things that seem to drive clicks in the space, these negative titles or something, or something extreme. It has to be something extreme. And I'm just not interested in that. You know, I'm not going to try to prove anything to anyone. I didn't get on here to do that. Started this channel and creating content to share my journey so you would feel less alone because I know how I felt when I started. And for a long time, I felt alone, in the struggles of, the way that I ate, the state of health that I had gotten to, not having the desire to do anything, trouble with staying consistent, the all or nothing mentality. Either I was going to try to do everything. And of course, that would fail every time. And so those are things that you can experience at any weight. There's no magic weight that makes you the expert on what it's like, right? No, I didn't spend my childhood with any weight issues. As a matter of fact, I spent it relatively small and wanted to gain weight because, and this is not a woe is me, I'm just letting you know that I got teased a lot for being skinny and straight up and down. Hearing that every day as a young girl, you know, being made fun of for things that were out of my control, it, I couldn't help being that small. It's not my fault that I wasn't blessed with, big boobs or, hips or anything like that. But those are things that I heard on a regular basis. So, of course, I wanted to gain weight. I just didn't want not what ended up happening in my 30s. My point is, we can all go back to different times in our childhood and remember things that weren't so nice. And that's why I recommend therapy. I know that that seems to be a bad word in this space and people get really offensive when you bring it up, but a lot of us can benefit from therapy and there's all different types. So anyway, I am sorry if I haven't presented this information in a way where you could see yourself, where you could feel seen. Um, and that we have to stay so superficial and caught up in how someone looks, right? Well, you don't know my struggle. You're right. I don't. I know what my struggle was. And that's what I get on here and share. I'm not interested in making, you know, just, I don't want to put anything out there just to get views. I'm sharing what works for me. It's not glamorous, it's not fancy. I'm not the queen of consistency or the queen of discipline. I had just finally gotten to a point where I was tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And they say, right, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's what it was. I did nothing consistently. That's why things didn't work. You know, I used to make those statements. I tried everything, but I didn't. Correction, I tried it. I never just carried it through, saw it through to the end. There would always be a reason to give up. And those times could have happened recently, but I kept pushing through. And that's it. That's what I come up and I show every week. That's another thing. I won't be doing weekly updates because it is the same. It is the same. I post my meals on Instagram. I have no desire to make videos on how I make the food. It's very basic, but the pictures are there. And they're just there. It's a food and an exercise diary. So it wasn't even really made to like show you what you should be doing. Everything that I'm coming up here and doing, or anything that I'm doing online, is just from my perspective. It's never telling you you need to do this. This is what you have to do. You have to figure out what that is. I made a post recently with a bunch of different pictures. I know that I could show before and after pictures, but it's not about that. It's not just about that. And the only reason I did that is it's like I'm not seen or taken seriously. And it bothers me, right? Oh, it's easy for you. Um, you didn't have that much weight to lose. It wasn't easy. And you know it's not easy. And if you're on this medication, you know it's not easy. It's a daily thing and it takes work, you know? I have just finally gotten to a point where I was tired. I was truly tired. And I do not want to go back to feeling the way that I felt before. And it's not just the way I look, it's the way that I felt. I felt miserable every day. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I felt like I had no control when it came to eating. I can bring my husband up, I can have my daughters come, we could chat, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Me saying it should be enough. And if you've ever felt that, then you know what I'm talking about. I didn't have to get to 300, 400, 500 pounds to realize that. It didn't take that for me. I still think it took a lot longer than it should have. But with this medication, that was the missing piece for me. That, along with lifestyle changes, a mindset shift, not just throwing quotes out there every day. I'm living this. These are things that I'm living. The things that I share are things that I'm living. If you notice, I don't talk about things that I don't have any experience with. So if it's not something that I have firsthand experience with, it'd be very difficult for me to talk about it. So I don't. I talk about the things that I've experienced. And if you've experienced those things, then just know you're in good company. I am going to continue to make content. I'm going to change, you know, it's not going to be these weekly updates because, again, I don't have the significant amount. I don't have any weight to lose. Now this is maintenance, and maintenance is not interesting for people. People say they're interested in it, but they're not. They're not. There are some, but many aren't. And then again, it gets just diminished to, well, you didn't have a lot of weight to lose. In what world is 58 pounds not a lot of weight? 30 pounds. Think about it. Think about it now. If you could lose that this month, you'd be happy with it. So let's not pretend like it's not a significant amount of weight. Now, is the same as 200, 300? It's not. But for a body that's not used to that, it's significant. It's enough to have changed my health markers. It's enough for now my blood work, my cholesterol levels, everything to be where it should be in the healthy range. You know, I feel like I have more of a quality of life now because I'm able to actually do things without feeling miserable through it and tired, too exhausted to even enjoy it. Sitting away, eating the day away. Like, it's like my life has meaning. And that's important to me. It's not just about the way that I look, it's the way that I feel. So maybe focus on that. Maybe focus on how you're feeling. There's lots of tools out there. You know, there are some creators that are out there talking about things that you can do to change your mindset in your life. You got to stop looking for the gimmicks. Someone looking to sell you something. And there's nothing wrong with selling things, but what's the motive behind it? You know, people that are constantly selling products, are they using all of those products? All of them? Is that necessary? I could post links all the time. The reason I take things, you may not need to take them, you know? For example, electrolytes. I hadn't taken electrolytes until I started working out at a gym and my trainer suggested it. I wasn't doing it just because everyone else was doing it, but I didn't have a reason to. So, you know what I mean? Just know the reason behind what you're doing, what you're buying, what you're taking, and try to get your nutrients from your food. That's another recommendation. Yeah, there's protein bars, and protein bars have their place, but that shouldn't be your regular diet. It's still ultra processed, but that's not a conversation people want to have. And I know people get offended. You know, I'm not perfect. All of my days are not perfect. None of them are perfect. I have days where I don't do enough. I have days where I do too much. The key is finding balance. So again, everything that I eat, the form of movement, except for my yoga, and if I'm just walking around, that's not on there. If I'm on my walking pad, that'll be on Instagram. Everything I eat, that's on Instagram. Um, and here, I'll be, I'm going to keep on with the mindset stuff because I believe that that's what's important in order to be successful. So if you're someone and you need to see you know, over the top thumbnails with and all these, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested in it. And yeah, that's the direction. So I really enjoy making content, but I want to focus on what's important. And what's important and what's popular aren't the same thing. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I want to feel good about the videos I make, something that I can be proud of. When my daughters go back and look at them, so like, hey, my mom made this, not some over the top, you know, clickbaity stuff just to, I don't know how um, many times I can make the same type of video before it just gets boring. Uh, I'm bored of it, so I won't be making those. Now, on the Monday live streams, if you have questions about how my journey is going, we can talk about that. But I'm not going to make update videos talking about my weight or anything like that anymore because I don't think that it's relevant. And again, I'm at maintenance and everyone's goal is not getting down to the weight that I got down to. You know, people's goals, a lot of goals are just to be healthier. And for those people, keep going, keep going. If you have a magic number, I challenge you to figure out why did you come up with that number? Because I can almost guarantee there's a feeling that you think you're going to have when you get there, right? A lot of us think when we get down to this size, then life's going to begin. Then I'm going to feel better. Then everything's going to just magically work itself out. And I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. That is not true. It's not true at all. Um, and I'm not going to say that no one can ever feel that, but I can tell you that I didn't feel that. I can see others that have gotten down to a certain weight and they're not happy. They're still not happy. It's more than just the weight. So if you take nothing away from this video today, just know it's more about the weight and stop being so judgmental. Stop judging people who didn't have as much to lose or didn't struggle their whole entire lives. It's not relevant. We all found ourselves in this same place. So whether I grew up skinny or not, I'm still here. I'm still here with you. We're here in this space together. So let's learn from each other and do things to really make changes. And if you stay inside of an echo chamber and that's all you hear, you're you're not going to be able to see that there's so much more. There's so much more that this medication does for you. So I don't want to, oh my goodness, it's been 15 minutes. That's it. I wasn't planning on even talking this long. I just want to say I know that I'm not relatable to many. For those of you that can and that can look past that and can see the message and see what I'm really trying to do here, I appreciate you. And I'll be here, just going to be changing up a few things. And I will leave you with this. We can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.